Well, hello again, everybody. Meteorologist Jim Dickey back with another round of Tropics Talk, continuing to track the little area of low pressure spinning to the east of Florida here this morning, barely to the east of Florida this morning, just about to move its way onshore. You can probably make out what I'm talking about for yourself, but the swirl we're talking about centered right about there. A little bit of thunderstorm activity flaring up on its southern side. Zoom in a little bit, east of Daytona Beach. Yeah, this has not been able to come together as expected into a tropical depression just yet. The Hurricane Center in their latest update, as of this recording, it was at 8 o'clock on Tuesday morning, says the thunderstorm activity remains disorganized. Therefore, no, it has not met the definition to be considered a depression. This will move onshore over the next couple of hours and then track right across northern Florida. Right about that. So there's not much time for this to be over land before it's back over the warm waters of the Gulf. Therefore, shouldn't knock much off of the continuing attempted development with this system as it does move westward. And then once it's into the northern Gulf, that's when this would truly have the chance to come together. Now, this has been dubbed Invest 93L. Just real quickly, want to go through what that means. You might have seen yesterday on your social media feeds, hey, Invest 93L has formed. Nothing has formed. It's the same low pressure area as it was. That invest tag the Hurricane Center puts on it just means they're investing a little more sort of resources, a few more resources into this. They start to run out the hurricane models on this, train the satellites over it to get a little better picture. And so we now have the model plots to work with this storm system, as I'll show you in just a moment. But here is the latest, a 40% development chance. I have the track on there to show. Yes, I know there's that whole area of orange, but if this forms, it'll be as it's moving away from us in Florida. 40% over the next 2 days, 40% over the next 7 days. Really, we're talking the next 4 or 5 days before this moves onshore in Louisiana, moving across Florida today, tonight. The main impact for Florida and for really overall for the northern Gulf Coast too will be heavy rain and the potential for flooding. So the question is, will this come together? The waters are certainly warm enough. You take a look at the water temperatures in the upper 80s here, all across the northern Gulf. Generally, we say 78 degrees, that threshold for waters being warm enough to support a tropical system. Upper 80s, lots of fuel for this to work with. And along with that, as expected, the wind shear dropping off over the northeastern Gulf. Still some high shear over the western Gulf, but it's going to slide into this little window where the shear is low, where conditions are fairly calm overall as you go up in the atmosphere, which will give this the opportunity to try to organize. What will be working against it, though, is sort of the path it takes. There are those model plots. Remember, each line a different model forecast. A number of them show this basically scraping the northern Gulf Coast through tonight into tomorrow, then potentially taking that dive southward, and that's going to be the key. Does this dive south? How far does it dive south? Does this have enough time over the warm waters without land interaction to be able to develop? And I do think if we see that swing to the south and this doesn't move onshore until it's west of New Orleans, yeah, we could be talking about Tropical Storm Dexter moving onshore. Our model, our in-house Futurecast model, not buying into development. Take a look. It does have that fairly well-defined circulation to that low here this morning offshore. But as we go forward in time, there's Wednesday morning, and this is a sloppy mess as it moves out over the Gulf. The wind's not showing any type of organization besides a broad counterclockwise flow to the winds. We advance this forward. We go into Thursday, and now you are seeing a little bit of a curvature. Maybe this is a tropical depression for this model by the time we get to Thursday evening and it's moving into eastern Louisiana. But this model suggests, no, this stays below tropical storm strength. This does not take the name Dexter. So we'll see. I think a 40% chance that the Hurricane Center is saying, I think that's just about right at this point in time. Less than a 50-50 shot of this becoming anything well-defined. And I also don't think that's going to matter all that much in this case, because the main impact is going to be, regardless if this comes together or not, heavy rain. In fact, the threat for flooding rain increasing in parts of Louisiana. This is from the National Weather Service, rather. You see how the scale works out. Anything in purple is up above 6 and 7 inches of rain. That lighter shade of purple, 8 to 12 inches of rain. That will almost certainly lead to some flooding. And then for us in Florida, even as this storm system is pulling away, it's still going to be the big driver in our weather. We're still going to have that deep tropical moisture overhead, so we're still be talking widespread heavy rain, rounds of downpours and storms. I think we're talking an additional 1 to 3 inches of rain piling up over the next 5 days here across southwest Florida. In particular, that would mainly fall today, tomorrow, and Thursday. So we're still talking the potential for some flooding locally here too. So bottom line, this could become Dexter. Regardless, it will continue to be a big rainmaker and a big story in the weather along basically the entirety of the Gulf Coast over the next couple of days. We'll be tracking it for you here. The Gulf Coast Storm Team will be watching it closely, so be sure you're staying tuned for the latest. Until next time, I'm meteorologist Jim Dickey. Stay dry out there.